Welcome to Star Darbar one more time with Mr. Arun Gandhi ji. Nice to meet you in last week, and I do believe that who missed last week, they are going to catch up this week. And we were talking about his childhood, about his grandpa, our beloved Bapuji, Mahatma Gandhi ji, and we were talking about different things. And I do believe to make it more colorful and know more about his vision and his thoughts, we are going to go right there one more time. Arunji, welcome to Star Darbar one more time. Namaskar, namaste.
Namaskar. Thank you for having me on the show.
What actually meant ahimsa to you in that age? What you thought about that?
Well, ahimsa at that age didn't make a lot of sense to me. I just looked at it as a broad perspective of non-violence. But when I grew up, I realized that ahimsa is, total non-violence, where you don't hurt anybody physically or otherwise. And that's the understanding I now have of ahimsa. But as I said earlier, as long as we have this kind of tumultuous economic industrial growth where we are always exploiting everybody, we cannot have ahimsa. Ahimsa can come only when we change that and become more compassionate and harmonious. So I'm even thinking that there is a lot of sense in compassionate capitalism. Capitalism is not bad. What is bad is the way we are exploiting and using capitalism. But if we have compassionate capitalism, where we make money because we have the ability to do that, but use that money to improve society, to improve the lives of the people who are working for you, instead of exploiting them.
Agree to that. You wrote an article to Indian government after the movie released in 1982, The Gandhi. So what was the article and what was that about?
Which time frame did you say?
This is about the movie, like when the movie released in 1982, you wrote an article to the Indian government. And
yeah. When they announced that they were going to spend $25 million to make that movie, I was aghast because at that time foreign exchange was very scarce and India was not as affluent as it is today. And I thought it was a waste of time to spend all that money on a movie when there are so many books written on Bapuji, and if anybody was interested, they could read the books. So I criticized the government for spending that money instead of spending it for the poor. And that got translated and published in many Indian languages. And Richard Attenborough heard about it, and he was afraid that I might take some legal action or something, and so he kept away from us, didn't consult or even meet with us until the movie was done. And then he asked the publicist to show it to us first before it was released to anybody. So we had a preview of the movie, uncut version, which was almost 5 hours long. And I remember my mother and my other family members had all come also, and we saw the movie. And it really shook us. The way in which he had portrayed Bapuji and really brought him out as a human being. And my mother even commented that not only did Ben Kingsley capture his spirit, but he captured the glint in his eye also. He was so, perfect in his portrayal. And so I went home and wrote another article. And I said, I take my words back again. And I think that this film is going to bring Gandhi to more people around the world than all the books written on him. And I think basically today that is true. A lot of the young people today know about Gandhi through that film, not so much through books.
On a lighter note, if I ask you that, if you can share any story from your childhood that when you were with him, like any funny stories or any good memories with him?
Well, there are many stories with him, like when he made me go out and look for a pencil that I threw away. I was coming back from school and I had this little 3-inch pencil in my hand and I thought I deserved a better pencil. And that evening when I went and asked him for a new pencil, instead of giving me one, he wanted to know how the pencil became small and why did I throw it away. And then he told me to go out and look for it. And I tried to make an excuse that it was getting dark and I can't look for a pencil in the dark. So he gave me a torchlight and said, go and look for the pencil and bring it. I want to see it. I think I spent about 2 hours searching for the pencil. And when I found it and brought it to him, that's when he made me sit down and learn 2 important lessons. The first lesson is that even in the making of a simple thing like a pencil, we use a lot of the world's natural resources. And when we throw them away, we are throwing away the world's natural resources. And that is violence against nature. The second lesson is that because in an affluent society we can afford to buy all these things in bulk, we overconsume the resources of the world. And because we overconsume them, we are depriving people elsewhere of these resources, and they have to live in poverty, and that is violence against humanity. And that was the first time I realized that all of these little things that we do every day, throwing away things because we have such of it, or we can afford it, that all of that is violence.
I hope the parents, you are listening to this, I hope the kids who watch me, you guys are listening to tonight's episode, because this is really special for me and for youth generation, when like from where we bring our culture, our values. I think these things are really important to know, to understand. And Arunji, really, it is really fantastic the way you are showering us with these beautiful stories where we can learn a lot. We still can learn a lot. What is your hobbies, by the way, and what you like to do most?
When I was young, I used to play a lot of games. I was very interested in tennis and cricket and football and soccer. But then when responsibilities came, taking care of the family, taking care of Bapuji's mission in life, I got so involved with all that, working for the poor people and so on, that all the games and fun part of it was put aside and life became more serious. So we spent a lot of time developing programs for poor people. You know, it's very important for us to remember we are sometimes, when we do charity, we are motivated by pity instead of compassion. And the difference is that when we are motivated by pity, We just see somebody hungry on the roadside, we give them some food or give them some money and walk away from there. We think we have done a good deed and given somebody some relief. But we have actually made that person more dependent. They are dependent on our charity, and they'll be there forever waiting for somebody to drop some money into their box. And that is not very constructive. But when people have to live in poverty and destitution, the first thing that they lose is their self-respect and self-confidence. They come to believe what society tells them, that they are useless people and they will never be able to achieve anything. But nobody is useless. People are in bad circumstances and they need a little help to stand up on their feet. So when you are motivated by compassion, then you make a sacrifice to help that person realize their potential and stand up on their own feet and do things. So that's what we did. We developed programs, self-help programs, which enable people to do things for themselves and make their future. And those programs were very successful. So, and they've been going on for some time now. Then we did, during that time, we also found lots of babies who were abandoned on the roadside because, it's the cultural stigma in India for a woman to have a baby before marriage. And so they would quietly deliver the baby and abandon on the roadside. We found about 128 babies during a course of about 12, 15 years. And we found homes for those babies and gave them in adoption. And many of them are now very happy and grown up, and they still consider me and my wife as their parents. And of course, my wife is no longer alive, but they still write to me, and they have a Facebook page, Arun Gandhi's Children. So, yeah, it's all, in a way, it's all firefighting. It's not a complete solution. But whatever we could do to make some child happy is what we can do. Recently, after my wife died, we built a center for destitute and girls living in poverty in Kolhapur. It's called the Sunanda Gandhi Home for Girls. And it's a beautiful building and beautiful place, and the girls come and live there, and they go to school and study, and their lives have been changed completely, and it's something worth seeing. Now I'm in the process of building for boys.
It is really great to hear. Of course, we can expect these things only from you, I guess, because the values you have gotten from your grandpa and your dad and your family, that made you who you are today, and what you are doing for the society, how you are thinking differently for the humankind. With all these discussions, one thing is coming in my mind, that right now the world is truly, I can say that it is not in friendship with peace. So what would be your words towards that?
Well, as I said, we have adopted this lifestyle, which is based on exploitation. And because of the exploitation, we need to have aggression. We need to have an army for security. And we've now become so dependent on fighting rather than creating harmony in society. At every time we face a conflict, we are threatening each other with wars and killing. And this, like what's happening in Ukraine now and other places of the world. It's just horrible. And I don't think this is civilization. We are not going towards civilization. This is pure and simple barbarism. We are going further and further away from civilized human beings, which is a tragedy.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That is true. You call yourself peace farmer. Why? I mean, we all can understand the point, but would love to hear from you.
Well, my grandparents and parents both used to say that what we can do is go and plant seeds. Like a farmer goes into the farm and plants seeds and hopes and prays that he gets a good crop. So in the same way, when you're working for peace, all I can do is plant seeds in the minds of people. I can't force them to change. I can only share with them an experience. Then it's up to them whether they want to nurture that seed and bring about the change, or they want to let that seed perish and get destroyed. So I see myself as a peace farmer, just going and planting these seeds and hoping that someday those seeds will germinate and we'll have a big crop of peacemakers.
Tell a bit about the institute that you have formed after your grandpa. We would love to know about it.
Yeah, that was when I came here to the United States, and my initial feeling was that I should share with the poor people in the United States the experiences we had in India and how they succeeded. And very quickly I came to realize that the United States was not very conducive to that kind of thinking. Because every time I talked about cooperative work together, they thought that was communism, and they said, we don't want communism. And it became difficult for me to explain to them that it's not communism, because we have all these social welfare programs already here, and that's not communism. But they have this, kink in their head about it, so they were not willing to accept. So then I thought, well, let me switch from activism to education. If I can get to the young people and educate them about this whole philosophy and lifestyle, maybe that would make a difference. So I started this Gandhi Institute for Nonviolence. And I was lucky that the Christian Brothers University in Memphis were very positive about it, and they gave me hospitality. And so we started there. But then in 2004, when my wife became ill and we couldn't live there alone, my daughter lived in Rochester, New York, and she said, why don't you move here and I can help take care of mom? And so we moved here. And initially the institute remained in Memphis, But then I realized that without our presence there, it was going downhill. So after my wife passed away in 2007, I brought the institute to Rochester, and it's now allied with the University of Rochester, and we are continuing with a little bit of both, a little of education and a little bit of activism.
You know, a lot of time, maybe when you are out there, when people know that you are the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi ji, so how you react with that? Because do you think that they have or they used to have more expectation from you?
Oh yeah, they did. Even when I was younger, there were very high expectations. And one day I told my mother, I said, I don't know how I'm going to go through this life with this legacy because it's already becoming such a burden. And she gave me a piece of advice that I'll never forget. She said, it's up to you. If you consider this legacy to be a burden, it's just going to get heavier and heavier as you grow older. But if you consider this legacy to be a light that is shining the path ahead for you, it'll be easier for you to deal with. So since then, I've looked at this legacy as a light that is showing me the right path.
Oh my God, really. I mean, these beliefs, right now I'm thinking, Arunji, that the whole world should listen to all these words. I think we are really forgetting. We are forgetting to dream. We are forgetting to love. We are forgetting to show that we care. We are forgetting to trust. Those are the good words I can say that we are losing. I don't want to say that we are losing our mind. I can say that the mind is losing us. I mean, we are really lost these days. A lot of time I say, even not anger, even not maybe not, I can say ahimsa, but success is a really great factor these days. Like you are successful, someone else is successful, and we are not. So a lot of time there are comparison, a lot of time there are sadness. What is your saying about that?
You are right. As I said, we are forgetting civilization. We are forgetting all the good things in life, and we think that money is going to bring happiness to us, and yet we see that people who have the most amount of money are the most unhappy people. And so, we got to take another look at where we are going and what we are doing to civilization as a people, and the effect that it is having on the world. The whole world is being destroyed, and it's not a very good prospect.
Right now I'm lost because as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about my parents. I'm thinking about my grandparents who they used to say a lot like what you were saying right now, and I wish that, and I'm really proud that I got those words from my family, and I tried to stick to it, and I hope that my viewers out there who are listening today, you guys are going to rethink, to relieve, and get some relief, But Arunji, would love to ask you that if you can share some light, or I can say that path to our newest joiners, or I can say the youth at large, so they can understand the value of love and care, selflessness, and do good to others. And if you can say a few words about that.
I think there is a trend, at least among the young people I see, of more compassion and love and, doing something for other people. They want to get away from this greed, and so there is a trend. I hope it becomes a tsunami and takes over. But right now there is a trend towards that, which is hopeful.
Well, I hope that too. And friends, I think that you really enjoyed our conversation tonight with Arun Gandhi ji, and I think that you really loved it. We tried to get his vision, his insights about our beloved Bapuji, Mahatma Gandhi ji, and I do believe that you all loved it. Before we go, Arun ji, would love to hear a few words about our Mana TV International viewers globally. That will be really great if you say a few words.
I've already spoken for about an hour. What more can I say except that the future lies in the hands of the young people. And I just hope that they will realize their responsibility and do the right thing and change the course of this world to a better future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here with us. And it was our pleasure to meet you and to know you more, to show the people that how much love and care can bring to all of us. And really, with these words, I want to finish here tonight. And yes, of course, next week you will meet someone, of course, very special as well in your favorite show, Star Darbar, brought to you by Mana TV International HD and produced by Krishi Entertainment and Blue Eye Creation. Till next Wednesday, stay safe, stay well, and of course come back to grab and see more episodes from our channel. Please subscribe to Mana TV's Facebook, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's also Mana TV. I hope you guys will have a great night and a great week. Namaskar.